English language re-release, you know, like, does that mean that Viz is now in the running? Like, is it going to be Funimation, Viz, Toy, who knows who else is all fighting for it now? Plans are in place for Sailor Moon to be released in Germany and all the French-speaking European countries. And they're going to have the French version is going to start with just the first 46 episodes. And then the German release is going to have the entire series. And they're going to do dubs as well as subtitles. And then they are speculating a DVD release in Europe for early 2014. So they're really on that. And so there, I'm going to go and take it out to you guys. Questions?
Any idea on the approximate amount of episodes? Like, is it going to be really long? Like,
Of the new series?
Yeah.
They don't have any information that's released yet, unfortunately. We don't really know. They're not really saying anything. It's hard. Like, I don't know if I have to physically go down there to their office or something. But like, they're not releasing anything. They're not really answering questions. They're being kind of evasive in that way. We've gotten indication that nothing has really been set in stone yet. That's why it's delayed, is because they haven't really figured things out yet. And they've been like this for months, where a lot of details have not been worked out. Yes?
I'm sorry I came in late to find this like stuff from the theme. Was there when I came in, you were talking about some negatives, now positives.
Well, there were two companies that did the licensed costumes. The Lake Avenue ones, I've seen them in person, and they are a better quality. I don't know why Mars' skirt is so much shorter on this picture, but
If everyone wants to see we're wearing them, yeah, we're wearing both.
okay.
They're not that bad. They're not that bad.
Yeah. The other company, Incognito, was more of like a costume manufacturer.
That one sounds, yeah.
And they're not that great. I kind of feel like part of the reason that Lake Avenue ended up doing a better job is because they're a lingerie company. They're used to making something small with structure.
I was just wondering if it's, like, I don't even think of the Lake Avenue stuff as part of great.
It's not the greatest, yeah.
Their own, which is
Yeah,
always an
well,
option.
that's what I am
Is
too.
there another option out there? Maybe there isn't?
You can, like look on eBay and stuff and find someone that you can contract, and that's pretty much it. If you want to get it more custom made, my stepmom made my costume. Yes.
Any news on good quality plush dolls? I mean, Luna is great, but all the other like individual scouts, they're not.
Yeah, there's only that's all that's actually been released as yet is just the little ones.
Yes, those ones.
Yeah.
Any improvement on that?
That's all they've put out so far. There might be more that they put out down the line. I saw these in the dealer's room myself, and I was surprised at how small they are. And then people are selling them for like $15 to $20, and when they're really tiny. And they're plushies. Like they're cute, but and these are the only ones that they seem to have. Like they're clearly missing certain characters, right?
Yeah. In quality.
Yeah. Yes.
I came in late, so I apologize if I made you repeat something you already said, but for like toys like wands, for instance, I know they used to sell this back in the late 90s.
Yeah.
I guess with the re-release of the series, do you think that they would probably come out with that again, right?
I don't know if Great Eastern would do something like that. I believe those were originally done like by Irwin or something, and Irwin isn't doing anything right I would think, you know, there's enough of a market out there for it. If they're doing cosplay accessories, then they might as well expand to those as well.
Do you know if it's in place right now that you can get a decent one for not too expensive? It's still on eBay. Like, I made this one, but I saw a lot selling on eBay for $200. I'm not going to pay that. That's why I made it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, where you
I
can get it
think
for like
part of that is because there's only the old ones out, right? I think part of that is because it's all the previously released ones.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a limited number, and so they jack up the price because they know someone's willing to pay it. So I don't really know where you're going to be able to get a better deal. It's unfortunate. I personally have I have the Cutie Moonrod, the original one.
Yeah, I have that one too, but I can't find it. Somewhere in my house.
Yeah, I got it many years ago, right? So I was lucky enough to just get that at the store and just keep it. Yeah, and now you don't really see those things. I hope they do bring it back because those are good.
Those toys you mentioned, they were actually released in Japan first. They weren't originally made by Irwin though, a lot of them. They were reprints of Japanese versions. So.
Probably, yeah.
And honestly, that one she has right now looks close to the actual toy version. Because I have that. And honestly, hers works. The only difference from that than what I have probably is because it makes a sound. You know, that weird doom 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 doom. It ain't annoying anyways.
Yeah, run the job on that.
Honestly, it looks almost like the real one. I kind of mistook it. I thought it was a remake, or what was it called, this based off the Sailor Moon live action one.
Yeah, I just bought stuff at the dollar store.
I know, it's amazing. Wow. Honestly, it looks like the real thing.
The quality is really impeccable.
How did you
I've got a
get
couple
your,
of them unopened.
did you buy those or did you make them?
Sorry,
Your hair ornaments?
Oh, that I bought them.
Where did you get them
There's,
from?
I think they come in from Asia. They come in from China, but I bought them from, you guys heard of Katsuya's Collectibles?
Yeah.
On the internet, and they're store based in New Jersey, I believe.
Okay.
It's expensive, but they sell all the accessories, like the earrings, the tiaras,
What about the
dangles,
locket you have?
boots. Yeah, they sell the locket too. They don't sell wands though. They don't sell the actual costume.
What's it called? Hatsia?
CATZIA. If you
Okay.
type that in, like Katsuya's Collectibles on Google, it'll come up.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Right now it's $103 for a wand.
That's not expensive compared to the Sailor Moon Star Rocket, one that's even massive in Sailor Moon. That's like insanely expensive. Now.
Sorry, can I be quiet in the room, please, so I can hear people? There was actually something that Grady's Turn had done, you know, the little musical locket that she had, the star-shaped locket?
Yes.
It's not musical, the one that they released, but they did release one more recently, so you can find that pretty easily. And you know the little one that she played with the little song?
Oh yeah, I keep looking for release one in Europe.
No, there isn't a musical
Why not
one.
make music? But that was a long time ago though.
Well, no, Great Eastern released one. This one it's more
Is it
just.
small or big?
I don't know how big it is because I haven't.
Because the
seen
one,
it.
one that they released in Japan originally is like pretty large.
Well, I don't know. This was a more recently done one, so it could be small. I don't know.
Star Rocket?
Yeah, the star.
It's small.
It's small.
Yeah, so that
Is it like a?
it's tiny.
It's like a watch, kind of like a tiny watch.
It's like almost like me like that.
Oh.
It's tiny.
There's I don't know. I didn't see if they had a dealer's table here this year, but I think they're Kuma Crafts or something
They're
like that.
not here this year.
They're not here this year.
No.
I've seen them advertised on Facebook as well, so you can find them online easily. And they do a lot of these, it's like laser cut acrylic. And they make these really beautiful necklaces out of, that are based on like brooches.
They did a star, like the locket one, and it opened. They don't, I think the only thing it was like light up and there's no music, but like, and they're pretty, they're in like the $30 to $50 range, so they're like, they're so well done and they're really nice.
Yeah, they're really beautiful. Other places that you can like you can search online as well for different places to buy things. Amazon is a good place to go. Right Stuff. You can try Hot Topic online. You can try beltsdirect.com. They'll only have limited items. And then in person, obviously conventions are one of the best places to go and get stuff. Because not only are you going to have access to official merchandise, but you're going to have access to crafters who make props and stuff. And then also you can go into major bookstores, obviously, can do the comics. And then comic shops, a lot of comic shops will have not just the books, but they'll have a bunch of, they'll have an assortment of merchandise. I know Harry Tarantula actually carries a variety of things. If you see them selling any of the stuff, you can always ask them if there's something else you like from Great Eastern. Ask them if they can order it in for you. And a lot of times these shops are willing to do that if there's demand for it. So don't be afraid to ask. Yes?
Not that they're the licensing, but if you search on Etsy, there's a lot of artists now that like with the Sailor Moon movies that are making like the necklaces and the lockets. Obviously not the licensed ones, but there's a lot of them that are really, really nice if you're looking for things like that. And they're doing them like, I saw one of the musical ones on there that someone had actually made.
That's cool. Yeah, so that's an option as well. They don't have licensed brushes. Any more questions? No? We have like 15 minutes, guys.
Do you think they'll ever release Sailor Stars over here? That's the only collection I don't have besides the two movies.
There is definitely demand for it. What I was actually hearing.
Why didn't they release it? That's another question too.
They couldn't get the rights. They couldn't get the rights in time.
I thought like what was it, Tokyo Pop or not Tokyo Pop?
It was just before the whole rights lockdown. Geneon or Pioneer was releasing some of the seasons, and ADV was doing a couple of seasons as well. And they rushed those out the door as fast as they could because they knew what was going to happen. They knew they had a limited time to go and make these things, so they made as many as they could and sold them.
Because I know Tokyo Pop held on to their copyrights without doing anything with them for a long while.
Tokyo Pop was only the manga.
Yeah, the manga.
Yeah. And then Kodansha was just, they decided to just do it themselves instead of licensing it to someone else this time. Right? Well, I was hearing some from the actresses who are here, Linda Valentine, Susan Roman, and Katie Griffin. They were actually mentioning at a panel last night that there was, they weren't able to get the rights, and there was like this power struggle between the companies that were involved, and then they wanted to do it, but they just couldn't. They didn't get the ability, they didn't get the opportunity to do it.
Did they tell you why they replaced the original Sailor Moon voice actor?
Oh yeah. The first actress was Tracy Moore, actually. And I heard from John Stalker that it was personal reasons that she left. And then we had Terry Hawks for many episodes. And then she got pregnant with twins. And so she had to take some time off. And that's when Linda Valentine came in. And she said that when she auditioned, she was initially trying to mimic Terry's interpretation of the role. And that's what they tried to get her to do. But she found it really challenging to do that. She said that after a while she just ended up, after encouragement from her husband saying, make it your own, then she kind of went in her own direction.
So that's why it felt kind of weird when I first was wearing the first couple of seasons, or the episodes.
In which season?
So, was it the Sailor Moon Super or Super S, the releases, the dub versions?
Yeah.
They seem kind of weird when you watch like Sailor Moon and Sailor Moon R, right? The
Yes.
voice actors were the same one, I'm assuming, right?
For the most part, yeah. Tracy Moore and Terry Hawks actually have really close voices. So a lot of people didn't even notice the transition because Tracy did like the first 14 episodes, and then from 15 on,
What
it was
about
Terry.
Super and Super S?
And then those, I think both of those seasons were Linda.
I mean, I didn't hate the voice acting, but I mean, it just seemed different.
It was very different, yeah. And there were some other roles were changed around the same time as well. Mars changed because Katie had actually gone for, she had gone to live in Los Angeles for a while. And they weren't willing to do a phone patch. So.
What about that Uranus, Sailor Moon, they changed the whole dynamic at the beginning of the series and the Super S when Uranus and Neptune came, you know, instead of
being in a relationship,
lovers,
they called them cousins, yeah.
cousin, yeah.
Yeah, I think part of that is that, you know, people weren't ready at the time. Got to be in what was
They never
a
really
kid's series.
talked about it, they just hinted at it. You know?
Yeah, I know, that, I thought that was a little weird too. But, you know, some of it is that they were also trying to appeal to American networks, right? And American networks are stricter with kids programming. This is why we ended up with this whole Sailor Moon Says segment. That was
Is that the reason why?
That is a requirement
That was foreign.
in kids programming in the US. They must have an educational portion. Never mind if there's actually a moral within the episode.
They even
They
got
still
rid of
tacked
that
it
jazz
on.
episode. The episode where Sailor Moon dyes her hair or changes into
Oh,
a
yeah.
character and goes into a
Yeah,
bar.
because she was drinking in a bar, underage. Can't let the kids see that. Because they'll all try it. Sailor Moon says if you go into a bar and you're underage, only drink milk. And there was this other episode actually where in the first season where Melvin does like a lot of really perverted kind of things and looking up the teacher's skirt and everything. And they took
Perfectly normal in anime, but
they took it out. There was one episode that I totally could not understand why they took it out because it was actually an episode where Tuxedo Mask does not appear for a reason. And it's so Sailor Moon realizes she has to be self-reliant. And I was like, why would they cut that? That is the kind of episode that they really should have kept in. But it's, you know, some of the reasons that they cut things, we don't know fully what was going on there.